Lancashire hotpot, aptly named after the English county in the centre of the British Isles, with its lush fields, meandering rivers and cotton mill towns of a bygone era. The county rightly claims this English classic fare as their own. Hotpot, as the name suggests, is a one-pot stew made with onions and carrots, topped with crisp, slightly charred potato. It's one of the best comfort foods on a cold autumn or winter's day. Into India with our biryani and Mexico with our chili con carne. This time we're going to England, and more specifically Lancashire, where we have the traditional dish Lancashire hot pot. Well, the good folk of Lancashire, they would have an allotment, and we have got the produce of a typical allotment here in Lancashire, which would be your potatoes, carrots. We have a swede, or what they would call in America a rutabaga, I believe. We also have got some leeks here for a side dish that doesn't actually go in the hot pot. We like cheesy leeks with ours, so we'll do that. And we've got some tender stem broccoli. And for the meat, we are going to use showed in the biryani dish, the neck of lamb. And that's a real gelatinous and a good choice of meats to go in this. It's not a poor man's dish, a one pot dish, and similar to the Liverpool dish scouse. So let's get these veggies prepped. Okay, so there's the veg all chopped and ready to go. Of course, it's only the onions we need at this stage, and we're just going to trim and chop the lamb. Right, we chopped our meat into inch thick straight cuts. Yeah, there's plenty of fat running through that as well. So this does need a good bit of cooking. So we've got plenty there. This is for 4, by the way, so that's our lamb. Okay, into the pan goes some oil. I use a very light olive oil. People use vegetable oil traditionally, but that's what we've got and that's what we're using. So in goes the lamb. Don't overcrowd your pan, so we're just going to brown off the first batch. Got a second batch in there as well. I've also got the swede on the go there. That's going to boil separately. Right, we just got the Lancashire hot pots in the background there to give us a bit of flavour for the Lancashire hot pot we're doing. And as you can see, it's getting lovely and brown in there. I've had to fry this in 2 because there's so much lamb. So we're going to add all this in, and then we're going to add the onions with it. Right, we just got the onions in there, so we're going to fry that with a small bit of lamb, and then we're going to add the other lamb in there with the carrots, and not forgetting the lamb stock. Right, a little bit of flour. We want to thicken the actual stock up, and we don't want that floury taste in there, so we've got to cook that out. So we have 1 heaped tablespoon of flour, just goes in there like that, and we'll cook that out. You might need, don't want to get too much, you don't want it too thick. Right, next ingredient to go in there is a little bit of English mustard. In goes 1 teaspoon of English mustard. In it goes. I've had a little bit of water in there to just break off the flour from the bottom. So next we add in our lamb bouillon or lamb stock, and I'm using these particular ones by Knorr. So in they go. So in goes 1 of them, just like that. Right, I've just added the rest of the lamb, and now we're just going to add in those carrots, uncooked, and the swede, which is partially cooked. Right, in go the carrots. I'm going to turn that down a bit. So this thyme is super perfumey, so I am not going to use all that. I'm literally going to have to judge this and probably just use a pinch like that. That's all we need. In it goes. And we'll let that sizzle away and cook out. In's gone the swede on top there, so we'll just mix that through. These hobs tend to switch themselves off. So put that on about 6. If you want to add anything else in to thicken or to enrich the flavour of the stew, you can add your tomato puree. I don't think that's a problem. We grow tomatoes here in Lancashire. Not that I live in Lancashire, but it's totally up to you. I don't. I keep it a little bit more traditional, and I like that glazed, nice thick potato on the top and this underneath. Right, almost forgot this ingredient. You want a dash of Worcestershire, I can always say this, Worcestershire sauce in there. Lancashire hot pots. Alexa, put on pause. Right, okay, we don't want to infringe any copyright laws, so we're just concentrating on our Lancashire hot pot, which is just bubbling away there nicely, ready to go over to the oven. But before we do that, we have sliced our potatoes, just about fit in here. I like a double layer, so we do 8 potatoes, and they're going to go on the top with a little bit of butter, a little bit of herbs, and a little bit of rock salt. Okay, the mixture is now in the bowl, ready to be transferred to the oven once the potatoes gone on the top. And I reduce the gravy down so it's the right consistency before it goes in the oven. And all you do is you pour it over the potatoes, and it soaks into down below into the actual stew. Well, I thought that was a bit too much to go in that crock pot. Callie's just put on the lights. So we've split it into 2 smaller oven-proof dishes, and we're just going to lay the potato and add the gravy. Right, we've layered one of the hot pots with the potatoes, and we've doubled it up. Just got to brush that with a bit of butter. So just there we are, we've just layered the top, and we're just going to add a little bit of melted butter onto them with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So on goes a little bit of rock salt, if we can focus in on that. So on goes a little bit of rock salt. So that goes in for an hour and a half. That's an hour and 59, so let's just take that down. There we go. And in they are. So we'll check on them at 45 minutes. And we keep that on around about 200. And we keep that at around about 200. There we go. And that's the final dish with the lamb and the potato. Well done, Lancashire.